Hey, you doing, Coach Brandon here, and went ahead and looked at all your videos. Definitely want to go over a few of them with you, but you are absolutely correct. The trying to work on the hinging mechanics, breathing and bracing, and avoiding the lumbar extension and flexion we had before has already paid off quite a bit. You're moving incredibly better, but there's still a few things I want to discuss with you a little bit based on or surround around accessories, tempos, and things of that nature, and possibly video angles as well. So looking at the actual videos that you sent, start off with this guy here. So it's looking a ton better, a lot better. The biggest thing we can do to improve, we still have a little bit of extension as you ascend in the hole. You'll notice that right here. It's a deeply ingrained habit. It's already gotten a lot better, but the extension takes place about 1/3 of the way down on the eccentric portion. But you'll notice extension right there. What I want us to do though is it's going to be a lot easier for me to see what's going on if we get about half as close from the camera to you lifting. Let's go ahead and take the camera from kind of directly behind you to more to the side, and that way I can see more of your spinal composition and things of that nature. But the one thing that's going to really help you is breaking at the hip from the top of your squat. All right, what I mean by that is I'll kind of give you an example here the best I can. What we're going to do is we're sitting on top of your squat, getting ready to send in the hole. Instead of breaking at the knee and then trying to hinge under dynamic movement, what we're going to do is we're going to break at the hip instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break here and then break at the knee. And this will encourage you to have proper lumbar mechanics as you ascend in the hole. So again, all it is pushing your hips back before you break at the knee. Seems pretty simple, but what it does is you'll feel it load your posterior chain a little bit more, and on top of that, it'll help you to work on your hinging mechanics and avoid that lumbar extension you've been going into. But there is a drill I want you to do at least one setup before you start squatting. We're going to throw that in your warm-up. Now, this drill you can do with a PVC pipe or a shoulder rack I got here. But what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and put it, like I said, this is a bit rough. You're going to put it right here. You're going to have it above your head. You're going to have 3 points of contact. 1 on your head, 2 on your shoulder blades, 3 on top of your glutes. We're going to keep those 3 points of contact as we hinge and descend into the hole. Now, at any given time, if you go into extension, you'll lose the middle point of contact in between your shoulder blades. If you go into flexion, you lose the lower point of contact on top of your glutes. If you bring your head up, down, then you lose the top point of contact. So the point of this is to keep an absolute neutral spine and to practice positional awareness as you go into a squat. I want you to do at least one set. I prefer 2 sets of 5 to 7 reps right before you squat to gain that positional awareness a little bit. But for you, the biggest battle is going to be really synchronizing your upper body following your lower as you hinge down and ascend in the hole. Right now, it's still your lower wants to push out and your upper really wants to stay upright, and that's what's causing a little bit of extension that's still there, and it does make a big difference in the grand scheme of things. So let's go ahead and continue to work on that. If we can eliminate that, big things will happen. There'll be huge dividends down the road. But again, it's already gotten a lot better, so good for you. That's really good. Let's just keep working on it. Now, looking at other videos that you sent me. All right. So with the sumo, we're looking for a very specific stimulus here. Keep in mind 4-count eccentrics. If anything, I want you to make it more than a 4-count. I really don't want to cut those short at all. The 4-count eccentrics really dials in form, dials in tension building, and on top of that, gives incredible muscle hypertrophy to the muscles involved with the sumo, which are very specific to the movement itself and are great to hypertrophy for a number of different reasons. But right now, we're cutting the tempo, the eccentric tempo, a little short. And what I mean by that is, we'll go ahead and look at it here. So if we look right here, I do think we can get a little bit better at tension building because we're locking out a little bit soft knee. But this is the top of your deadlift, and if we count on the way down, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. So right now we're doing 3 Mississippi-ish, if anything a little bit less, and I'd like it to be 4 Mississippi, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, and if anything a little longer than that. That way we really take advantage of the training stimulus that we're looking for right now out of that exercise. So right now we're just cutting those a little bit short. Let's really focus on pushing your hips back, working on hinging mechanics, which is, believe it or not, a huge benefit that can come out of tempo work in a sumo. Hinging appropriately, nice and slow, dialing in that pattern. Let's really work on that though. Make it full 4 count, if anything a little bit more so. Work on the hinging pattern on the way down and make it very smooth and the same exact speed throughout. I don't want to break at the knee or break at the hip really fast and then go really slow at last few inches. I would rather it be a same speed throughout, nice, easy 4 count tempo on the way down with, like I said, a very consistent speed. That's one note to make with those guys there. And lastly, we're going to look at your overhead press. So when you do an overhead press, the most common fault I see when I see someone doing an overhead press is a ton of either wrist deviation or a very unstacked position. So I can't really see how stacked you are in the video, but I can see a very, very good amount of wrist deviation. So anytime you are doing any pressing motion, the closer, the more stacked you can be, the more you can have your wrist directly below elbow or above elbow, directly above the barbell, like everything nice and stacked. This can produce power. This can produce power, whether it's a punch, whether it's a press. This can produce a fuck ton of power. But the second we get something like this, elbows out, elbows in, the second we do anything like that with a bench press, overhead press, we're minimizing how much power we can produce along with increasing injury likelihood. Now, what's even worse than that being a little less than optimally stacked is having a ton of wrist deviation. What I mean by that is ideally we're carrying that barbell right in our palm. So that way it's a nice straight line from the barbell down to your hand. But anytime we carry it a little too high in our hand and there's a bunch of wrist deviation, the barbell is being carried up here and it looks like this, that's minimizing your power output, just like that. And on top of that, there can be an injury involved as well. But more than anything, you're just minimizing your power output by a good amount. And it's the easiest fix in the world. We're going to bring your the place that you hold the barbell from your calluses, the top of your hand, to the meat of your palm, wrapping your fingers around, squeezing the shit out of it, and keeping that position throughout. Really easy fix, but you look at the video to see what I'm talking about. So you see there, a lot of wrist deviation, especially look on the bottom. Again, it's kind of hard to see with this video angle, but you'll see the barbells being carried there, a ton of wrist deviation there, and then it carries over to at the top. So again, super easy fix. We just have to be aware of it, getting it right in the meat of our palm, squeezing the shit out of it, and keeping that stacked position throughout to increase power output. Those are the kind of 3 videos I want to go over this week. Everything's looking really good, already making big improvements. Keep the videos coming. Love what I'm seeing, and let me know if you have any questions whatsoever.